Okay, here you can see the tables which are imported. Okay, just click on finish. Now you can see the metadata here. So if you see these options, right, so there are many icons that are present here. So if you double click on this, the first root folder root icon is nothing but your database connection details. So whatever we have used, the default names will be allotted to that. So now I will be replacing, let's say this is supplier database. So I am renaming it to supplier database, and this is the data type, database type. And sometimes there are see, these are the default features that are enabled by default for the database. So if you see, some options are not checked, and let's see for the option. Let's say here we are saying RAN is not supported, or mod is not supported. So that means that this database, whatever we are using, will not support these features. So that's why it is unchecked. Okay, sometimes you may need to override these values if we know it, if we know that you know, this feature is there and it supports with this database, then you can probably come and check in the features tab, and you can check the option. Okay, and connection pools will be discussed now. So just click OK, and under this database we need one connection pool. Connection pool is nothing but your like see, we have data source name, right? So that will be used to connect to the source system or whatever the database. Those details should be stored in some place. That place is nothing but your connection pool, and this connection pool will store the information of your schema, whatever the schema that you are going to access. So see, whatever we have given in the data source name is populated here, username and password, and there are some other features here. Let's just go once. Okay, first option is caller interface. This is the interface which we will be using to connect to the database. The same thing, whatever we have selected there, we have selected OCI in the previous screen. Here you can see default as OCI. Okay, driver is same, and maximum connections. So this maximum connections 10, what it states is at any point of time you can connect 10 connections. What I mean to say is, if you create a report and execute that report like that, 10 connections can be established to the database. And the same connection, let's say if some 100 reports are running, so in that connection itself it can fire multiple queries, but if but at any point of time it will open only maximum connections as 10. Yeah. Correct. Yes. No, it is the connections that server will open to the database. So it's not directly proportional to your direct users. So once it opens a connection, it can be used or it can be shared for every user. Because your username and password will still remain same. Its only difference is connection. Okay, that's what is explaining in the third option, where you are telling that shared logon. So your username and password will be shared across the connections. So it's same. Only thing is how many connections will be established at any point of time. Maximum connections. It can open as less as 1. It can go up to 10. Sometimes you may need to increase this value to improve the performance. But just remember one thing: if you increase the connections more than the recommended value, then you will be seeing performance issues actually, because as soon as this connection opens, it will not close automatically. It needs some time to be processed, then only database will close that connections. Once it finds that this connection is not being used, then only it will close, or it will just put the connection open. So that will decrease the performance of the database. So you just have to see the recommended value for opening the connections with the DBA, and then use that figure here. And connection pooling is something that we'll discuss later. And use multi-threaded conditions and parameters supported is generic values of databases. Multi-threaded condition. And there is one more option called write back. We'll be seeing this option later, but I'll just give you a heads up to you. So what happens is, this reporting tool in OBIEE, it's not about only retrieving the value. Sometimes you can enter a value from the front end, and that value can go to the back end and store it in the database. So if you want that, if you want to enable that feature, then you will be needing this option, write back functionality. And this is something that is generic in every ETL tool. So when you want to like for each connection, when it opens, if you want to run any queries at the time of connect, you can write some script here. Execute before the query, execute after the query, execute and disconnect. These are 4 options that is available. If you want to store some data, or write a insert statement as soon as you connect that you logged into this database at this time, then you can use these functionalities. Okay. We never use in the real time generally, but you at least should be aware of these functionalities. Okay, just click on OK. And next comes with the schema name, and next comes with the table name, and under the table column names will be present. Okay. Now next thing what you need to do is, first you need, we have selected tables and keys and foreign keys, right? So we'll have to just check whether the keys are imported or not. So in order to check that, double click on any table and click on the keys column. So here keys. So maybe from the source system there is no keys mentioned, that's why this keys is not present here. Okay. Okay, no keys are present. We can check it from here. Okay, though it is key column, it's not given as key here from the source system, I mean from the data warehouse only. So if you see the physical diagram of this, so see, it's just that we have imported the tables, but we have not given any relationship between these tables. So first you need to create your start schema or the data warehouse structure, whatever is there. This physical layer will represent that model. In order to check whether all these tables are related, just click on the schema, right click on that, and we have an option called physical diagram, and select the second option as objects and direct joins. So this is the screen you will get. So here you can see 4 independent tables, and there is no relationship established between these 4. So now that at least we know, we have read our model and we understood what is the columns that are there in fact and what are the columns that are there in dimensions, and we know the relationship between those two. So we will establish our joins directly from repository only. Okay, in order to give the relationships, we need to use a join icon here. So just click on the join icon. This is the fact table, and these three are dimensions tables, correct? So from the fact, I need to drag the arrow down to dimension and just drag and drop on top of calendar. So here you can see left table as calendar, right table as orders. So we know from calendar table YYMMDD is the column primary key, and here it is period key. Okay, this information will be shared by the data warehousing like architect in real time. Sometimes you will be doing this one by just researching on what is the common column that is present, and we need to establish a connection between them by verifying with the downstream team. Okay, this is the relation. Just make sure that join condition has been written properly. So from calendar YYMDD and from orders period key. Okay, now this is correct, so just click on OK. Like that we will finish with the customer. From here it's new key, here it is cust key, and for products it is prod key, here also it is prod key. Now here you can see some options, right? So if you use the collapse all button, the table will get collapsed and it will be displayed with the only table name. If you want to expand, you can use the expand button. So once you finish your physical model, you will be doing these steps. Okay, first you will be minimizing or collapsing, and then click on this option for auto layout. Okay, this is how it looks. So this is the star schema that we are going to develop now. I mean, we are going to configure. I cannot tell you development. So your fact is at the center and dimensions is surrounded. Okay, since we have given our joins, we need to able to see the keys as well. So just double click on the products. Under the keys you have this name. Key name is already populated because we have given the join. When we mention the join, it automatically assumes that this is the key column. Okay. And in foreign keys of the dimensions you won't find any, but for the orders table you will see foreign keys. Okay. Good. If you want to see some particular diagram which is related to two tables, you can select only those two tables or only those tables and right click on that, come to physical diagram and select the second option. Sometimes if it is like constellation schema or galaxy schema, you will be finding hundreds of tables. That time you can select only the first option, selected objects only, wherein you will see only those objects, not the direct joins of those tables. Again it will be extended to one more bigger star schema, so it will be confusing. Now this is the standard development that we will be doing in class, but in real time what we will be going to do is we will be just renaming these files, these tables as aliases. Okay, so we will just create some alias just to hide the original names of these tables. So you can select a table, click on new object and click on alias. So I would say dim underscore calendar, instead I'll say time. Okay, and for customer dim underscore customer. This is a generic naming convention for the dimension dim underscore. Dim underscore products. This is the source table. By default, if I click on the table and right click on that and create an alias, the source table will be that table which we have selected. This I'll say fact underscore sales. We have given the relationship between these four, but we have not given this for this four. This is just we have created an alias. Okay, and just remember one thing, alias is nothing but your database alias only. It looks similar. So if you add, if you remove any column from the alias, it will delete the same column from the if you remove any column from the base table, it will automatically remove that column from the alias, and the same number of columns whatever present in the base will be equal to your alias. Okay, now that's what I am going to tell you. See, in order to hide whatever the tables that are being there from the source, so we are creating our alias similar to that, and we will be developing all our repository by using the alias only. So sometimes, right, what happens is you may need to create some circular joins wherein a single table will be referred multiple times, and you need to give a relationship between those two tables. For example, a customer here is having some customer some representative, okay, sales rep. So, and that sales rep is also a customer. Okay, assume that it's not there here, but assume that. So what happens is you need this table as two tables, then only you will be able to establish a connection between those two. So we'll be creating two alias, one with the customer, one with the customer rep. Only the difference would be the joining with the fact. How it will be joined with the fact is what difference. So for the second table, we will be considering sales rep column as a primary key. For the other, it will be customer key. Okay, that's why in real time we will be going to use like this alias only. Just now I will be repeating the same process what I did in the beginning. Physical diagram, objects and direct joins. See, again there is no relation. Yeah. Yes. 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 No, alias can be created for each and every independent table. It's not like you can create a alias for the complete tables. Let's say if we have a facility to create all these four tables together, then I can create the model itself. But here we don't have that feature. We have only a single alias that can be created by that table. So we will not get the exact replica of the existing model. Yeah. Yes. Correct. Yeah. you don't need to join the base tables. Yeah. Ultimately what you need to do is how your model exists first. Based on that you can join. Let's say if there is circular joints, obviously we won't disturb the base tables. We will use the alias only. Okay. Yeah. Physical diagram. And now if you are okay, you can tell me the steps. I'll do that for you. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. From the fact you need to go to the dimension. Okay. And correct. Short key. And once you have selected, it is already highlighted, so you can use it again. Fact sales to customer, cust key or new key, cust key. And then again from fact to time, it's YYMMDT, and here sales right, period key. Okay. Okay, you can click on this and see. Okay, now it is model. So with this your physical layer is completed. Here you can see the physical, right? So we have 3 layers. Under the physical layer we have got almost the complete replica of your database and the tables. So now we are ready with the physical layer. So now we are going to do our logical layer. So just right click on that, create business model. Let's say I would name it as supplier sales, and just see this option, it is disabled by default. When you create a new model, it will be disabled, so that when you do any checks, this model will not be considered yet. So once you finish your model, then you can make it as enabled, so that the consistency will be checked. Now I'm going to pull each and every table here, or since like I have model completely in the physical layer and I need the same model to be there in the business model, I can select all the tables once for all, so that every relationship will be selected. Like you asked the one question, right? So if I do the alias for all the tables, will that relation also will be copied? So that won't be copied there, but here it can be copied. You can check by using this. So again, same on the model, right click on that, go to business model diagram. Earlier we used to go to the physical diagram. Now go to BMM and click on the whole diagram. See, here you can see the tables, right? So or else sometimes you can create manually also, like dragging each and every table. Just click on that and drop. You can see the plus sign, right? So when you see the plus sign, you are able to copy. Okay. Did you see the difference? Okay, let me show you. Did you see the difference in the icons? So yeah, when it has hash, it means that this table is treating it as fact. So when there is no relationship for a single table, it will be always considered as fact. Okay. Now in the fact cells I have foreign keys. So when I import the fact to the business model, now I am able to see the relationship. If you see diagrammatical representation, you will understand it better. Now if I see business model diagram, business model diagram, whole diagram. If you see, these 3 are independent tables. Okay, just a second. These 3 are independent tables, so it is treating these 3 tables as a fact. so which is not valid, which is not correct as per our model. So I need fact sales, and you can check the whole diagram. Now it makes sense, right? So now if you, this is the relationship, if you open this, see, if you see in the physical layer, on top of the join we have a relationship here, right? So we have selected new key from here, and new key from customer, yeah, and cust key from the fact, and we have seen that condition whether it populated correctly or not. So since it is a physical join in the physical layer, you will be able to see what is the column that is being joined or not. But when it comes to business model, everything is logical definition here. So we are just telling the system that this table is joined with this table. That's it. What columns will be used for joining, then you need to go and refer in the physical layer, find the columns and join the table. That's what we are telling to the system. Okay. And you can see some options here, and just remember one thing, in physical layer you can, like if you want to do any outer joins, first you just need to establish a connection in the physical join, and in the logical join under BMM layer you can select the option here. Okay, if you want to do any left outer join, right outer join and full outer join. So this option is not available in the physical layer. In the physical layer you will be seeing an option called equal to. So how this join will be established, like whether prod key equal to new key or prod key greater than or equal to new key, like that. You don't have how to give the outer joins in the physical layer. And just like when we show this model, these tables to the customer, probably they will not be wanting to see these tables or columns in this way, right? So they need some good representation of these columns. So for that we need to rename these files in the BMM only, so that when we pull into the presentation layer we can exactly change the name what user wants. But by default you will be doing the necessary changes in the BMM layer only when you do the lab. So in order to do that, so we have an utility inside the tool to just rename these values. So just I have selected all these columns at once, right click on that, and we have a wizard called rename wizard. Just click on that, and we have some rules here which will be used for us to just rename in efficient way. You can see zip underscore code here, right? So first thing what we need to do is we need to remove this underscore and replace with space. Okay, so I am doing that option, and then I'll put all the letters in the lower case, and then first letter of each word as capital, init caps basically. Okay, so I just selected in a sequence. Okay, so when you click on next, you can see the names will be renamed like this. Address will be renamed as address, city, okay, init caps basically. Okay, this looks good, right, for the users. So that's, and similarly type code, we will change it once for all. Control shift both will work. time. Okay, now here we are. Now if you see some of the columns, right, so here if you just rename this file names into just unit shpd and all, it will still look awkward, so we'll be sometimes we need to do it manually only. So just rename shipped quantity. You can use F2 to rename order quantity, and this is a column for amount. I mean, this we need to know when you do the modeling. You need to know like what is the column that represents these values. This is net weight shipped. Now with this it's over. Now our model is ready, so I'm just removing this disable. Okay, now it is. So one more thing what you can do is if you want to see some data what is there in these tables and all, you can right click in the physical layer and click on view data. Okay, you have that flexibility here. You can check the data directly from the repository because our connection is already established. So you when you click on view data, it will fire a query and it will fetch the results. So when you get any doubt, you can see the data, and based this data you can take some action. Okay, click on close. We'll just see whether all the names are properly mentioned or not. Address, city, district, factor name, phone, region, trip, everything is fine in the customer. Product, diet code, there is no space here, maybe not needed. Supplier code, everything is fine here. Time dimension, yes. Here if you see this key, right, we may need this column to represent a day, because day is not present in any of the columns, and the same value you can see what value is present. Okay, now you can see here it's 1998 June 3rd, so it actually represents a day, and there is no day value here. Oh, since like I know this model, I am just renaming that to day, just to show you like how you can modify the values in real time. Okay. And just see month or year is there. Okay, month we have, year we have, day we have, so there is a proper relationship, and from the fact we have amount. So now for time being, I know I don't need these columns to be displayed. This CM, dollars or cust keys are not needed to display in the fact. So since this is the logical model, you can go ahead and delete, but you should not delete it in from the physical layer. So I am just removing the unnecessary keys, and cust key, though it is a foreign key here, still it's a logical join or logical representation, so you can ignore and delete it. Okay, you can ignore these fields. because it is logical, even if you delete, it won't impact. Okay, that doesn't mean like we are removing that column not to consider. Okay, and you know about aggregation, right? Yeah. Let's say we have one table where we will store year, month, day, and some quantity sold. Okay, let's say if I want to find out yearly sales, what we will do? We'll write select statement as select year, comma, sum of quantity from table, group by your year. So what that will do is it will give you the aggregated information, so the higher level of information. So here we have a functionality to say that this is a fact column, and whenever you request at any higher level, you use some aggregation rule. Either it can be sum or average, or you do any aggregate rule, like aggregate function, to get those values. But the only difference is here we are, whatever the aggregation rule we are giving, so it will be treated dynamically. So let's say if I pull only customer, then customer comma sum of amount will be system will write a query with the customer as a column, and sum of quantity, sum of amount is the query. If I pull product, it will consider product. If I pull time, it will consider only time. If I pull customer and product, it will put customer comma product comma sum of amount group by customer comma product. Okay, so just double click on the amount field, and here by default it will give you aggregation tab. Select the default aggregation as sum. Same thing with for all this configuration. You will be needing to do it only in the fact. Shift quantity. See, the icons has been changed. That means that it is treated as fact column, though it is fact column earlier as well, but here it is a exact logical representation of a fact column. So we have given the aggregation, so dynamically when you request at any higher level, it will automatically form sum up all the amounts related to that field, and it will give you the result. Okay. Now this I'll just remove the underscores here. Dim products, dim time. You can mention like this also. Here this it will accept a space, no problem. Okay, now our model is ready. So what we will do is, if you are sure that entire model whatever is there here is fine, directly you can copy into the presentation layer. You can just select the complete model and drag and drop it here. Okay. Now one more thing I wanted to tell you is, this is a BMM model. Okay, your logical model, and whatever the tables that are there here is logical table, and this will be called as logical columns, and this is logical key. Everything is logical here. Okay, and same thing here. This will be, this root folder is called as subject area. This is presentation table, presentation column. Okay, and you might have see some extra feature here, right, under sources. So what happens is when you pull one table from your physical layer to your logical layer, a source will be established saying that this table data is coming from the physical table. This is the physical table that it is being mapped. Okay, and if you want to see particularly whether what columns is coming from what table, you can go to the column mapping and say, okay, zip code from the logical column is representing dim underscore customer of physical table under zip underscore code column. So what happens is when you do deeper modeling, you will be seeing multiple tables joined as a single source for the logical table. So that time you will be needing this option to see, okay, okay, this column is coming from this table and this column is coming from this table. Now with the minimum configuration, we are ready with the repository. So next thing you need to do is you need to check the consistency, whether our model is ready to deploy in the server or not. In order to do that, go to File, click on Check Consistency. Okay, good that we don't have any errors here, but let's make some errors. Okay, now go to physical layer. I'll remove the join with the customer. Okay, logical join. A shortcut for this one is Control K. Go ahead. You can. No. Control K for running the consistency check. Like instead of going like this, you can use Control K. So here it's saying that business model supplier sales is not consistent. Do you want to mark it unavailable for queries? For now, I just want to see. So I'm not disabling anything. I just want to see what is the error. So click on No. Here it's saying error message, saying that logical table dim customer is not joined to any other logical table. Okay, so you need to understand, and based on that error, okay, now here it is a fact that customer is not joined with any fact and it is pulled, so we need to give a relationship between these two. Fact customer. Now just I'm rechecking it again. Okay, now it is established. I should not get the error. You can ignore a warning, but you cannot ignore a error. If error is there, definitely if you upload this repository in your server will collapse. Sometimes there is a chance that this environment will go crash because of some errors. Yeah. And one thing also you need to remember is there is no undo facility in repository development. So whatever you do is only once. If you remove that, then you need to repeat the steps again. So for a large model, it's very difficult. You need to manage. So if I remove, yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that is also correct, and in my sense what I am saying is So for example, I removed a join here, right? So if I want to do undo, I cannot do that. There is no such option here. Yeah, correct. But a repository can be it cannot be like as simple as you say, like undo the repository. What it will does is it will store an archived repository what you have uploaded recently in the server as a backup. So you can use the backup, or you can download the backup, and you can you can re-upload that RPD to make it active. Okay, that is possible. Okay, now I'm edit consistency check, everything is fine, so I'm saving the repository. Okay, that's saved. Let me see if I can give you control. I'm sharing you mouse control so that you will at least see how to right click or clicks and all. You just take my system for some 5 minutes. I'll take a break and come. You just see all the features, like any sample things that you want to do in this one, you can do that. Okay, I'm sharing you mouse control. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Yeah. Hi Gaurav, I'm back. Yeah. You got any doubts or? Yes, yes. 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 Yeah. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. To some extent it's right, but thing is you need to establish a join in the physical layer saying that this table is joined with this key. I mean, this is a column that should be used, and then in the logical layer we'll be telling that whether it is a inner join or left outer join or right outer join. Okay, though you though whatever, I mean, since there is no like we are not saying the system key that this is outer join or inner join or cross join, so by default it will take some columns. Yeah. Yes. Correct. Correct. Exactly correct. And you can see there is no model in the presentation layer. Have you checked it? Okay, there is no option like that, so it's just a representation. But again, the same at the same time, so you may need to check the model which is there for this one. Either it can be a business model or physical layer. Sometimes, you know, what happens is when you are working with particular subject area, so since it is only one model, it's very clear for you to just go back to your BMM layer or physical layer and check the relationship. What if you have 100 tables here and 200 tables here? It's very difficult for you to go back and check the diagram for that, right? So what we may need to do is we can right click on that, click on the query related objects, and go to the business model layer, mapping layer, and go to the tables. Okay, logical table. So here I can see all these tables, right? So again, at this point of time you cannot see the relationship between these tables directly. So what you need to do is, first you need to select all these tables, click on go to. So by default what will happen is it will select the presentation tables and the exact replica of that in the BMM layer. If it has 100, since it is only 4 tables is representing from presentation layer, it will select only 4. If I do this process, right click on this, query repository, BMM layer, logical table. So first of all, it will show you only the tables which are related for this presentation subject area. Okay, so you can select this and click on go to, and here you can click on the diagram, selected tables only. Now you can see a relation. If I want to show in another way, I would show like this. Let's say if I want to see only for this table how the business model is there and how the physical model is there. Logical table. Now these are the 2 tables that are represented. Click on go to. Now see only 2 tables selected. Right click on that. Just check the selected tables only. Now I can see a relationship right here. Similar way you can do for the physical layer. Physical table. So here I have 4 tables, but most probably I will be selecting only the alias tables. Check the physical diagram, selected objects only. Okay, now I can see, and that option can be used for the same, not only for the diagram. If you want to see the physical table of this presentation table, you can use this option. Okay, these two tables, I mean this presentation table is being referred from these two sources, and then you can, because an alias is also a representation of your source table, that's why it is showing like this. Okay, yeah, yes, yes, yeah, yeah, correct. A single business model can be referred as multiple presentation subject areas. Okay, and vice versa is not possible. I mean, from the multiple business models, we cannot create a single subject area. That cannot be possible. Single subject area. Yeah, what I mean to say is, the supplier sales, you can create one more subject area. Say that customer sales, only customer sales. Okay, you can create like that. But if I have another model as orders, I cannot bring one table from sales and one table from orders, and I will not be able to create a single subject area for that. Correct. Yes, correct. Yes, we can have multiple physical connections. We can have multiple business models and multiple presentation models. Yes, yes. This may take some time. We could have started early. Okay, that's fine. This is a future model that we are going to do. You can see that here whatever we did is currently there. Fact, orders is surrounded by calendar, customer and products, and again products is having some other tables. You remember these names, what these tables will be called as? These three, calendar, customer and products, are dimensions. And what about the supplies? No, it's a flake. Yeah, it's a flake. If I add the suppliers table to these four tables, then it will be called as snowflake schema. Okay, yeah, yeah, in the first class we discussed about this schemas. Here I would say price list is your flake, date types is flake, subtype is also flake, and product type is a flake to flake again. It will take exactly 15 to 20 minutes. Next time we'll manage with the time. This time it's my bad. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, I'll go. I'll go. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. It is not recommended, but all these things will be taken care when you do your data warehouse modeling. So, this removing node nulls and putting a condition to restrict the values, everything will be taken care from the data warehouse, from the ETL team. They will be restricting those things. And you can impose any key here, nullable. If you say it is not nullable, then it won't fetch those values. But we cannot impose anything on the fly. It will just check those conditions. Yeah. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. 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 Yeah, that is possible. When you create from the source itself as a view, then it is still a recommended approach. Like if you do that view, if you create a view saying that create view, and then your select statement completely with all those conditions and all, it's still acceptable solution. But when it comes to data warehouse, we won't be using that approach itself, because you remember I said we'll populate some row widths, and these row widths will be referred in the facts. So in that approach, everything this will be considered, and they'll be pulling the data in that way. So reason why we are saying not to use views is it will decrease the performance of the system. And one more thing is, you can bring a view directly, or you can create a view directly in the physical layer, but how this view will be established with the another table, how a join will be established between this view and the other table. So a join should be there, right, in order to satisfy the dimensional modeling. So that and all we need to take care. I think same thing for me. I'll disconnect and connect again. Hello. Is it still disturbing? Am I clear now? Okay, I think it's better now. Maybe after some time it will show this disadvantages, I guess. Free software. Yes. And just remember one thing, like whatever we are doing in the data warehousing model is in a denormalized form. So all our conditions should be satisfied, and then only our data warehousing model will be developed. Because I understand, like whatever you do it technically in the apps technical, that you will be most probably will be writing some queries or joining the tables and creating a view, and that view will be represented and all. So those kinds of things will be handled by ETL only here when you do the enterprise reporting environment. Because if the system wants to dynamically join these tables, then we won't be calling it as a denormalized formatter. So again we will be referring the source system, and when you do reporting is actually meant for the people like who are taking some decisions and all, right? So they won't wait for the data. They, as soon as they click on that, they want to see some data, right? So everything we need to consider, and then only we need to move forward. In case of some places where you cannot go back and create or change your data model, still there is an approach. So one thing is that is you can create new there is an option called table type, and here select. So you can write your physical SQL here. Select statement like this. Okay, you can create a view. This select is nothing but a view here. Once you are ready with the query, you can paste the query here. Stars and all is not acceptable, but column names you can refer there. Yes, we have that option. And one more alternative is that you can do that query directly in the data warehouse. I mean that database. You call it database or data warehouse, whatever it is, and you can import that. When you import that, it will be treated as a table itself here. So you don't need to worry much about like what is the condition that is been written, or if you want to change that condition in future, then if you do it in repository, it will be difficult for you to manage with that, right? So again, because 90% of the cases you will not be allowed to modify your repository if it is related to data specific. So still in the backend you can go and change your view representation, because view metadata won't change, right? I mean what column or what data type won't change. From what table in the physical layer, in the database will change. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. 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 Yeah. Yeah. That's not a recommended approach, Gaurav. The thing is, I understand your requirement, but when you do report migration from Discoverer to OBIEE, first thing is when we sit with the people, right, with these people, business users, they'll simply say whatever the report I am able to see in the Discoverer, we should able to see in the OBIEE. But you might have seen some features like drill down, other options, right? And these things will not be directly replicated. Probably will be needing, we'll be end up in creating one data warehousing model, and we'll be using one ETL tool to pull all those data in the required format, what data warehouse needs, and then from the data warehouse we'll be doing. It's not straightforward like you said. If you do in that way, then if we have 300 reports, then you may be doing indirectly, you might be end up in creating 300 different business models altogether, and each query will be joined to that query itself to satisfy the data warehousing need. Data warehousing model, dimensional modeling. Yeah, correct. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for every business model you need to have a single dimension and single fact. At least one dimension and one fact. As long as you make the same representation, like you can create an alias and treat one as a dimension and one as a fact, it still accepts. But you have a flexibility to ignore the dimension or fact when you pull into the presentation layer. So for example, I can remove the fact cells here, it won't say any errors. That's still possible, which is okay. Yeah. Yeah. Correct. Exactly. Yeah, indirect way is that. Yeah. Even in the same model itself, you can create different independent. Like in your example, let's say just consider only two SQLs. So two dimension alias, two fact alias will be getting, and you can still go ahead and join those tables. Like here, I can have another another model like this in the same BMM model. It still accepts that. It's not necessary that all the tables should be joined with all the tables. It's not like that. So it still accepts that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But the confusion will happen when you do your presentation layer. So you never know which table is related to which fact, or whether these two tables are dependent or not. Only the one who develops this repository only will be aware with. For him also, he need to see the documentation. That's not the actual process of development. Usually, right, we need to check the possibility, like whether this solution is feasible or not. Then by doing the gap analysis, we'll come to know whether we need to build a data warehousing model, or else like a minimized approach of that dimensional modeling by using PLSQL concepts. Like you can write your PLSQL programs to fetch the data in this way. So here, whatever we are using these tables, right, these are not exactly like ETL developers did these things, because there is no row weight columns that are populated here. Whatever the keys that are present is still an IDs only. So we can do this approach, and then you can fetch, but you cannot directly use the query SQL whatever is there in Discover, but still you can use the same information in a different query. And again one more thing, if you want to put some restrictions, let's say not null and all, let's say if you want to exclude the details related to particular region, okay, from the front end you can put a filter condition saying that where region is not equal to America, you can ignore these details. You will be still having that option. Correct. Whatever you do in repository is stable, and you cannot override those. But once you are ready with your repository, you can play around with your front end system. You can put restriction like fetching only the like by using like operator, or equal to operator, or greater than less equal to, or some results which are depending on another report. There are many such scenarios that we'll be going to see in later class. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Yeah. We need to analyze the existing reports. Like you said, first we need to gather all the SQLs and see what is the data that they are pulling. So finally, let's say you are getting some 100 tables. Then probably these 100 tables you need to analyze and see, like for the possibility of dimensional modeling only first. So if that gives you more cost, then you need to use some basic basic developers, like I said, like our own dimensional modeling to satisfy. And we need to minimize those tables. We need to denormalize the data and minimize to the maximum extent that is possible, and then rewrite the queries, not like directly, but we need to see. Once you know OBIEE, right, then I can probably explain you in that way. I would say simply what you need to do is basically you need to understand how many tables are there and how many we can join directly. Even if it is repeating the rows, it's fine. Even let's say from the source it has only 10 rows, but when you join with the another table, it gives you 1000 rows. Still it is okay, because retrieving will be very fast in the data warehousing tables since it is denormalized. Then we can come to some conclusion. Correct. But I know this migrations from the beginning onwards. I have been hearing about this thing. This is the only way that we can accomplish. First, minimizing the tables and all. Then we'll come to one conclusion. Yeah, I worked under UAE clients, so I know. So you cannot expect much from them. So I think UK are better. Yes. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Okay. For each report, yeah. You can, yeah. See, if they do, they need some PDF kind of reports. Then probably you will be needing to create a BA publisher report. So you can, BA publisher development is completely different from OBIEE. Uh, we have an option to fetch the result in PDF, but it's not pixel perfect reports wherein you may need address to be displayed, or after that some report should be displayed. So you cannot restrict that much. Just that you can see some graphs or data related to the information which you are looking for, but it's not best report to print on the paper and show it to the clients. I would say first of all we should not compare, because purpose of these two reporting tools is different. BA Publisher will be used when you want to create a pixel perfect report, which I meant to say a document kind of reports, which will be used to run your what I say, run your like physical things. Let's say if I want to order something, then I need some document to be printed on the paper, and this paper will be sent to the supplier, and supplier will use that order and he will ship the goods. So for doing your operations, you if you want any reports to be developed, you will be choosing BA Publisher as the tool. Let's say for a manager who want to understand the sales, what has happened in the previous year, and based on that he want to order the things, so he will be needing some data to understand and decide how much quantity is needed for the future. So for the manager, whatever the reports that we need, we will be doing by using OBIEE. You just copy this location somewhere, because you will be needing this path in future. So this is the path. What we'll say is, if in order to access upload or download your RPD from the server or to the server, so you'll be needing this this path. So in this path we have one tool called data model, and this data model tool will be used to upload or download the RPD. Okay. So we have a standard structure or standard command which will be used to upload the RPD or download the RPD. Now we will be uploading our RPD, right? So this is the command, so that you can see here, okay. Data model and this till sh, this is the command will be used, and this is the syntax: upload RPD -i in I represents input, and this is the name of the RPD file, and then this is the SSI. By default it will be SSI only, and username of your server, which is WebLogic, and password of your server. Here in this case it is password 1. I'll show you how to upload the RPD now. Okay, so get this path, go to the command prompt, go to that path, use data model. Here in this case it is CMD, right? In Windows it is CMD, in Linux it will be .sh. Okay. And then use the command upload rpd-i. Oh. Then I have copied my file in rpd folder, I guess. Yes, here supplier sales. Slash supplier sales.rpd. By default rpd ends with .rpd extension is .rpd, and then -ssa is same. This is a default value. -u is WebLogic. Password I didn't remember it exactly. It's admin123, I guess. Just click on enter. This process is changed in 12C, whereas in 11G we have front end place where you can upload the RPD. that would be very easy for the developer to upload. Connection is unauthorized. Let me copy this file in that path. Yeah, I guess my WebLogic password is different. This is the username and password for accessing your front-end system, and most probably for uploading and downloading you will be needing administration privileges. So whoever the user have access to upload or download RPD, only he can able to do. So in case if I have my credentials, then I'll be using my username and my password to upload the RPD. Okay, now my RPD upload completed successfully. Now I'll log in into the front end. Administrator, OBIEE administrator. Whatever we did is completely offline. RPD development is completely offline. We will cover that in the security class. For now, you just assume that administrator only will be access to do this. So you see now, I guess you remember this model now, right? In last class you won't remember, now at least you can. So click on supplier sales. So what I did is I just clicked on new button here, analysis, supplier sales. So here we have 3 dimensions and 1 fact. In presentation layer, actually we don't need to display this as dim underscore as well. Client don't want to see like that. Maybe customer, products, time and sale fact maybe they may require sometimes, but this is what we need to take care. Let's say for a customer, and U key also not needed for the customer, for the end user, so you can remove that. So whatever you see, you may have to take some action at least when you deploy it for the first time. And click on results. Okay, customer name and amount. Let me see if option is enabled to. Let me save this. I'll show you all these things, how to create a report when those classes will come. For now, whatever we are doing in the backend, we will see the relevant information in the front end, how it looks. So for you, it's better to understand, right? Customer sales. I'm going to administration, manage sessions. Okay, log is not been set. Give me a second. Let me see if I can show you some query. I'll just have to see like why this is being not displayed. But what usually we'll do is once you run any report like this, so if you go if you want to see the SQL generated for this report, so you need to go to administration and manage sessions. Here you can see, okay, this ID. So for this report we are fetching 134 records, and this is the report, and this whatever you are seeing here is nothing but your logical query. We are I'm just, you're able to see, okay. Here this is nothing but we are saying that dim customer name and sales amount from the supplier sales subject area. If you see, this is our logical content, so that's why we call it as logical SQL, okay. But when you actually see the log, you will be able to see the physical SQL also, how it is generated, how it's been sent to source. So that's wanted, I wanted to show you, but somehow this is been disabled by default. I need to check where we need. I mean, this is the first time even I'm logging into the system and checking every option. For training purpose, I didn't use the system. Just we did some we use some existing environment. Okay, I think we are clear. You will. I'll just give you this file. Where is supplier sales, right? Can I send through this one? Is it possible? You are able to get anything? Any file? Any file came? Okay, I think that sharing option is not there. I'll send you in today's mail. This one, so that you will just have to remember these steps. Okay, it's not good to see, I mean, once you know these things, then you will be easily able to do that. Upload and download. And in some of the blogs I have seen that they have written a script to directly upload the repository and download the repository. Still I haven't tried it, but if you have some time in the future, you can go ahead and do that. So that can be a process improvement for the user in case if they use 12C. For now we will end the class. It's lunchtime for us, so I'll have to manage the lunch. So you'll be available today, anytime, later? I'll let you know in WhatsApp because it's Sunday also, so I just, yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I can tell you that after 4 o'clock. So now it's 1 o'clock here. It will be after 3 hours later. If it's okay, then I'm okay. Or else we can connect after 5 hours. Also is fine. We will try. We will try at after 3 hours. If time doesn't permit, then we will see it after 5 years. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, thank you too. Hope you understood everything whatever we discussed today. Yeah. No.